Hello out there, YouTubers, and welcome to PE Slick Podcast. I'm your host, Matt here. Each week I'm going to bring you something different in terms of leadership, ministering, entertainment, book authoring, and much more. But before we begin each time, I'm going to be airing a classic throwback commercial from back in the 80s or 90s or 2000s for my personal liking. Stay tuned.
What happens when we put Clorox bleach in soft scrub cleanser? Ooh, the label turns green. And stains come clean. Get soft scrub with the stain-fighting power of bleach.
And we're back with your host, Ranger Matt, here on PE Slick Podcast. I got my boy, brother Dominique Brightmon back to the podcast channel. He was my very first interview last year, and I'm glad to have him back on my podcast. Welcome back, Dominique.
Yeah, man, popped the cherry real good last time here. Metaphorically speaking.
Yeah.
Pause, as they say.
Man. Y'all don't know. I mean, I've known this guy since third grade. I've been dealing with this guy for years, and it's something that I haven't started drinking yet.
It's been 10 years. You'll be all right. Yeah, 10-year break.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, man. Dominique, what you been up to since the last time we talked last year? It was around November.
Oh, man, November. My God. Time be flying. Time be flying, man. Time be flying. Yeah, man, so basically been interviewing some magical folks around the globe. Got a big event coming up. Well, depending on the time this gets released, the Inspired to Lead, that's going to be coming up in February. Yes, indeed. Going to be speaking of that event and doing another speaking event at a company in Baltimore as well, coming up soon too. And daytime. So looking forward to that. Just been doing some speaking and getting ready to stay in motion for 2020 with some good vision. I'm not going to say new vision because there's still some stuff that needs to be fulfilled before you can call it a new vision, if you catch my drift.
Got you. Tell me, man, what is that feeling like when you interview many different book authors and people? What's that feeling like?
Man, it's freaking great, man. Get to connect with folks all over the world and you realize, you know what? They're human just like you and I. Because even though folks join the business of immortality known as authorship, that just means that they set aside the time, they had a goal in mind, they got that goal done. And now they're just out there promoting themselves, they're working anything else that they're looking to accomplish in life. And that's really a fulfilling feeling because podcasting is a tool for personal growth and professional growth and a platform builder. And I'm pretty sure you can attest to that yourself because my man's been growing and he's been showing off his wares, baby. My man is 13 plus episodes in.
Oh, yeah.
Back to the humans, baby, which is awesome. So I'm pretty sure you've been feeling the same way yourself, man.
Oh, absolutely. You know, whenever I talk with somebody, you know, it's a wonderful feeling, you know, because a lot of these people you talk with, you hear about or read about or see, it's like, you know, boom, like, who would have thought you'd be talking with them? I mean, you've talked with a lot of popular book authors. I've talked with people that worked at Disney and was on television and book authors myself. And it's like, you know, wow, like I'm having a conversation with them over the phone. And like you said, they're human just like we are, you know. Do you often or ever learn something new when talking with someone?
Oh yeah, learn something new all the time. Let's see, what can I think of? Something new. Well, actually, back in December, I had a wonderful lady by the name of Julie Renee Doring, and she's America's #1 brain rejuvenator expert. And one thing she brought to my attention that's pretty interesting from her studies is that it's actually better to sip some water throughout the day every half hour as opposed to be one of those guzzlers who takes a big old chug of water or a big old swig, even though it's kind of an oxymoron. You can't really take a big swig of something, but really just keeping that brain healthy through keeping your body hydrated throughout the day, like every half hour if possible, as opposed to just drinking a bunch of water all at once. Because at the end of the day, I mean, drinking water is great, but just knowing that there's a different thing that you can do and actually add that to your life is really good. And just having that conversation itself helped me to realize, let me start to drink more water, just like get more water in the back seat of my car to drink throughout the day whenever I'm on the road and get a stoplight or whatever to just keep the body hydrated. Because one thing about a lot of folks who may be getting up there in age, and especially those who may have Alzheimer's or dementia, dehydration is one of the main causes of that, and you got to keep your brain hydrated. Heck, even my dad, he got dehydrated a lot because he stopped drinking water every now and then, and not as much as he used to, and I could actually attest to that in real life. So that's one of my goals, is to learn from the mistakes that other folks have made and to make sure that I don't make that same mistake. But granted, mistakes are going to happen. I mean, you're going to fall for the bear trap every now and then. I mean, you could be a penguin and you could fall for the bear trap, but just making that active effort to at least learn and grow and become better and not better.
When you give your speeches, what's one message you always often give when giving your speech that people would normally have an effect on?
My main message is to spread my chocolate everywhere. I'm telling you, man, just spreading it everywhere, like butter on bread. I was messing with you.
What? Now, when you say spread chocolate, now, are we talking about Hershey or are you talking about Reese's Cups? Like, what's up?
Man, all of it, man, all of it. People hate it when I say that, but I love it because the reactions I get is priceless. Without just spreading my influence, but my actual message is advance others to advance yourself. That's my main message. That's my life mantra. I'm sticking to it like glue and honey, as well as some molasses when it finally gets out the bottle. Because if you help enough other people in life get what they want, you in turn will get what you want. And life is about helping people, and it can come in various ways. Like my man here, you saw me in action. You got inspired to actually have a podcast of your own. You finally launched it. What you had, you're growing and getting better with it. Other folks have written books of their own. Like I was inspired to write a book by a guy who was in his 20s. Some other folks in their 30s and 40s, even 50s published their books because they saw this freaking millennial in his 20s writing a book. Like, wait a second, this dude can write a book? Why can't I write a book? I got some books in me. And just the fact that really living with no regrets, living with good enough, and living with the fact that action is better than no action, and that perfection is something that you shouldn't go for, but excellence is something you should go for, is the main thing, because your actions will inspire others to become the best versions of themselves. That's what I've learned over these past few years, and that's going to be my main source of inspiration, because that's even Christ himself, the ultimate advancing man who gave his life on the cross for all of us. At least folks who decide to follow that path and follow him and take up that cross for him. But it's just mentors and being influenced by others and realizing, you know what, advancing others is the best way to advance yourself, because if you help enough other people get what they want, you in turn will get what you want.
Man, you're giving a powerful message here back to back, man. You're knocking it out of the park, man. What is your definition? One topic I wanted to touch on tonight. What is your definition of motivation? Like, what does motivation mean to you?
If y'all saw that Super Bowl halftime show, that is motivation. My goodness, Shakira, yes. Now that is motivation.
All righty. Well, you're obviously motivated to meet her in person. Okay. To Mrs. Dominique Brightmon. Okay. I got you.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. That is some motivation.
But
yes,
see,
indeed.
I figured your motivation was more Jennifer Lopez.
I didn't say either or. I said the halftime show. That means it don't stop at one. Let me stop.
Oh my goodness.
Let me stop before I kill whatever I said 2 minutes ago. No, but seriously though, motivation is basically knowing what you want out of life and going after it, knowing your why. Like, if you know why you're on this planet, the day you know why, and you figure out the how, is one of the best days of your life, as a lot of folks say. And it's definitely true, because when you know your why, you have a reason for keep going. My why is, I'm grateful for my parents that have worked hard. Like my father, World War II veteran in the 82nd Airborne Division, 2 combat jumps, 2 Broad Service Stars, infantryman badge. And my mother, who was a highly educated woman, got her master's degree in psychology, first ever public speaking coach. And also my brother was a great dude. Like, family is what pushes me to be the best that I can be. And realizing that this metaphorical chocolate here has got something to give, and definitely want to leave part of myself in this world. I've already left part of myself in this world. Now, granted, am I grateful for what I've done? Yes, but I want more out of life. I want to be able to get to the point where I make a bigger impact. Like, if I were to die today, myself would probably explode, as with a lot of folks like Nipsey and Kobe Bryant, because what you do on this planet, what you put your heart, soul, and mind and body into will last long after you're gone if you pursue excellence and you decide to be great at something, especially if you inspired others. Like Nipsey Hussle and Kobe, both giants in LA, legends. Like Kobe for his basketball career, his Mamba mentality. Like, there's no telling what other stuff he was going to accomplish after his basketball career, because listening to some of his later interviews after his career is over, especially on Valuetainment, where he's talking about the fact that he would watch movies and look at things from a different perspective, and he had all these books and screenplays planned to be released. Like, there's no telling what he was going to be doing over these next few years, but hey, his number got called that day, and he was gone. Nipsey Hussle himself, back in 2019, guy had one heck of a rap album, Victory Lap. Like, dude, listening to that album, that was my favorite rap album of 2018 and 19, and he was all about getting folks, especially the melanated folks like you and I, to actually get out there and invest, buy the block back, and make sure that we invest in our youth and our family and our own communities. And he was taken out at a young age too. Like, dude, like, your number can be called any day. So that kind of goes back to the original question, motivation, is having a strong why, knowing why you do something, keeping it at the forefront of your mind and pushing for it to live it out every day of your life, even when you don't feel like it.
There you go. There you go. You heard it from Brother Brightmon. So, like, I keep saying that Brother Dominique Brightmon is going to be a preacher one day.
My pulpit's the Going North podcast to take all donations. I got cash out. Help me to help get out gospel. Wait, no, that's a different ministry. Help out the advanced ministries. I'm telling you, we take all donations, at least all cash donations. Or if you want to buy like 50 copies of my books, feel free.
About 2 nickels.
Okay, 2 nickel careers worth of books. That is at least 2 million books. Thank you for whoever wants to buy that many copies of my book. Thank you.
Oh my gosh. Now, as a book author, you also are known as being a book reader. Offhand, do you know what exactly are the top 5 favorite books that you like?
Oh man, let's see. The Bible, that's number 1. That's the foundation. That's the book I was raised off of. That's number 1. Mm-hmm. Number 2, John Maxwell's 21 Qualities of a Leader. A green, golden, black book that's about 180 pages. That book will be number 2. Especially since that book itself, that's probably my top 3 books from him, because it helped me to become an extrovert. And I've been saying for years I'm an introvert. Took my bridge a couple times, introvert, but recently learned I'm an extrovert, so my energy is exponentially raised around fellow humans, especially the awesome humans. But yeah, that's book number 2. Book number 3. We'll go with As a Man Thinketh by James Allen. That's kind of based off of one of the books of Proverbs, where As a Man Thinketh, so is he. I think that was in Proverbs 6. And that book is a book that everyone should read. John Maxwell, Tony Robbins, countless others read that book because it's a nice pocket-sized book, 64 pages. Finish it in one sitting. Or at least you can finish it in one sitting, but I don't recommend it. Because some books are meant to be treated as a friend and pondered on, kind of like a textbook. Well, let me rephrase that. A book that you really should take your time with. Kind of like a textbook. Some textbooks are your friend, just saying, but that was book number 3. Book number 4 would be, I'd have to say, The Magic of Getting What You Want by David Schwartz. That book has an activity in it where you write your own obituary. I did that myself back in 2013.
Mm-hmm.
And I've still part of it over the past few years. One of them was becoming a book author. So that's book number 4. And book number 5, I would have to say, man, what would I have to say? Book number 5.
Going north.
What the hell? What the hell? I'll go ahead and go with that one. I'll go with that one because that book contains a list of 96 other books you can check out and read, because that book is really the entry into the business of immortality. So yeah, going north, I'll go ahead and put that as number 5. That's the first one, and that's where all my personal development got put into action.
There you go. What is your favorite TV show?
Favorite TV show? Man, I don't even watch TV like that. At least not anymore. I'll have to go with a recent one. I'll go with Superstore, because that one was the last one I picked up on DVD, and it was freaking hilarious. I got to like season 2, checking it out at the local library on DVD. That show was freaking hilarious.
Yeah.
Well, we'll go with Superstore.
Okay, and my last question for you for tonight is with podcasting, what do you think podcasts would have been like if it was around back in the 70s and 80s?
Well, it was. It's called radio.
Oh, yeah, facts.
Yeah, man. The only difference with podcast and radio is like radio, when you interview somebody, if they don't record, it's a one-time thing. Podcasting, it's on-demand radio. And you can pick it up at any time as long as the person that's hosting it leaves it up there. You can listen to it as many times as you want, for eternity if you want to, as long as you live. Like, that's really what podcasting would be like, I mean, back then. Now, granted, if podcasting was available back then, I mean, imagine what else would be available back then, like freaking YouTube, and not only YouTube, but social. Well, nah, maybe not social media. But yeah, definitely, yeah. Basically, yeah, it would be interesting. Heck, I probably wouldn't have been able to break into the spaces easily back then if it was as fast and agile back then. Now, granted,
Yeah.
man, it really go freaking deeper, man, because there's also, like, the internet, like dial-up speed. Like, imagine trying to listen to a podcast on dial-up speed. You freaking pull out your freaking hair. Even if you're bald, you pull out your hair. You freaking rip your beard and go inside your freaking skull and pull out the freaking dead follicles or whatever. It's so pull out your head, man. Trying to listen to a podcast on dial-up. Like, imagine that. But yeah, podcasts back then is basically radio. Terrestrial radio.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm always happy to have you come on board. In case y'all don't know, Dominique and I've been friends since 3rd grade, and he's come a long way. I'm proud of what he's been doing. I'm sure at some point your 3rd book will be on the market.
That's right. Grocery store near you, baby. That's right.
Absolutely. And Dominique Brightmon might be at some point maybe starting his own singing group, a band.
There you go with that dumb sales pitch again. I ain't buying it.
All right, man. Well, listen, Dominique, thank you for taking the time to be a part of my podcast again, man. It's always a pleasure having you come on board, man. And folks, we're going to take a commercial break, and we'll be back after just a moment with your host, Ranger Matt here. And cut.
Oh, cut. Oh, shoot. I didn't get a chance to thank you again for having me on.
Hold on. Let me go back. Let me do that again. Dominique Brightmon, thank you for having me on your podcast. Wait a minute here. Here we go. All right, Dominique, thank you for taking the time to be a part of my podcast, the PE Slick Podcast, with your host, boy, Ranger Matt. I appreciate you coming on, buddy.
Hey, man, thanks again for having me on, man. Like, it ain't every day you get invited back somewhere, so that means I did something right. But still, all seriously, though, man, thanks for having me on. Keep growing and pushing, man. Proud of you, dude. Can't wait till next episode 100.
Hey, man, hopefully it'll keep growing. It'll get there. There's tons more episodes to come. Tons of people I'll talk with whose episodes have not been seen yet. And I'm sure by the time we get to this episode, we'll be in 20-something by then. But, yeah, I'm thankful that you came on board. And, folks, thanks for tuning in. We'll be back in just a moment after this commercial break.
Everyone loves the taste of Hellmann's real mayonnaise.
Potatoes have eyes for Hellmann's. Onions cry for Hellmann's. Lobsters claw for celery stalks. And food loves Hellmann's.
The rich, creamy taste of Hellmann's. It makes foods you love best taste even better.
Hellmann's has the taste you love. Good food gets better. Just put it all together with the one best mayonnaise. Yes, food loves Hellmann's. So bring out the Hellmann's and bring out the best.
Well, YouTubers, it's been a lot of fun. Thank you for tuning in this week for PE Slick Podcast. I'm your host, Ranger Matt, signing off. Until next time, you have a good night now.